All right, good morning, cyber traders. Welcome on back, and it's good to be back in the saddle. But of course, it was even better to see all of our students here at our on-site course that we just conducted back in Jacksonville, Florida, just these past 2 days. But great to see all of us here, like Ray, Lawrence, Leda, Steve. We have Mark just before, Grant, John, and all of us just here joining us live inside the cyber group room. So today is Thursday, February 13th, shortly after 9 a.m. Eastern Time, February 23rd, I should say. Shortly after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Great to see all of us back on social media, though, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. So Fausto is actually going to be out today and tomorrow, and I think into Monday, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's taking some time off with family. He's going to be in St. Augustine today, I believe. But nevertheless, though, I wanted to just send my thanks to Mark and Vic and Alex and all of our students and members alike. So many of us who joined us back in Jacksonville, like I'd said, these past 2 days. So thank you all that had come by. It was a very fun and very educating 2 days just going over the stock market, a few different presentations that we had. And, hey, on top of that, we saw some good runners. We were able to capitalize well on Tuesday. Wednesday was a little lackluster. It was a lame duck day, right? It didn't really offer us a whole lot to work with. Certainly not this NVIDIA run that we're seeing now, right? Geez, what a run this thing just had from earlier this morning from 225 all the way up near 10 points higher up towards near 235. So, pulling back down now, I'll bring up level 4 trade in just a moment. Actually, in the meantime, quick shout out to one of our students, Mark, that just joined us at our on-site class in Jacksonville. He cleaned up. He may be done for the day. I think he's flying back actually this morning, so he's gonna have a fun plane ride home. He got $2.75 a share on this NVIDIA catch. He posted this trade just a moment ago. His entry was at 229.50. So big shout out to Mark on that one. And otherwise, hey, we'll cover NVIDIA in just a moment. Now, speaking of the on-site class, so just a couple of housekeeping notes to go over. As great as it was seeing all of our students there, some of us for the third or fourth time, and many of us for the first time, there were a couple of little issues that we had, hosting it just, with Wi-Fi connectivity there. That was a drag. So I know for those of us that were on the webcast version, when the Wi-Fi cut out in the hotel conference room, it of course cut out for you there momentarily. So I appreciated everyone's patience dealing with us in that regard. On top of that, I think that there was a small glitch in the audio when the great Tom Busby was doing his presentation. So I know that a couple of us were a little upset about that. My apologies on that, folks. We're going to get a little wireless mic clip next time. We'll do better, but nevertheless, that's why we say you got to join us for the full product, for the full event here, right? From Mark and Alex and Vic and all of us. Like I'd said, you guys had a blast. But nevertheless, if you folks have any questions on what we covered these past 2 days, please email me. And it's to say that on top, I have to respond back to you. I have a bunch of emails I have to catch back up on, but please keep them coming. I want you to know I haven't had a chance to get back to anyone just yet, but I will over the next day. So please, if there's other questions, other concerns, other questions just on top that you had, feel free to shoot me a quick email, josh@c2trading.com. Of course, talking to all of us here inside the chat board. And then with that, just last housekeeping note, we're going to be doing Traders Talk next week, continuing Traders Talk next Tuesday as normal at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. We're taking a tiny break here for this week. I didn't realize I shot myself in the foot coming back from the on-site class, and I didn't have a chance to schedule Traders Talk for today and tomorrow with the coaching sessions I'm doing. I'm on the mic from now until 1:30 straight shot. So, and then from there from 2:30 to 4. So it's a long day, and I didn't mean for that to happen. So my apologies on that from Mark, Leda, Wendy, John, all of us here. Normally, if you're a trial member joining us here live inside the private video, well, so I make sure that. But otherwise, though, hey, that's why we record them too. We've posted years upon years of Traders Talk recordings, and hey, I forget what I had for breakfast yesterday, right? So it would make sense for you to go back on all these recordings and catch back up on them. Even from the last few months, from 3, 4, 6 months ago, go back on a random Traders Talk workshop, you're not going to remember exactly the moves that we caught at that point. So it will still be very refreshing for you to analyze and put under the microscope a bit. That's my recommendation for you. All right. But again, please email me if you have any other questions. I got to get back to this Genie. I got to get back to you in particular, certainly. So with that, let's hop to it. We got the NVIDIA trade on our screen to begin. Let's break open Bookmap right now. No longer waiting on Bookmap now. Here we go. So we ended up seeing a really strong break above resistance. It was off of 230 mainly, big iceberg level here. That was the bigger level. Mark ended up getting in right off 229.50, similar in terms of the re-break, right? It was testing 29.50 here a couple of times. And what Mark saw, and we were chatting about this on the side after he traded it, but the re-break aspect of it, the more times it's testing that price, it should lead to a bigger reaction. Now, still, you had to worry about 230. So, thankfully, all worked out for Mark, but the same to be said here off 230. And really, once it rebroke 230, it led to the much better run. So, Mark capitalized from that point, ran up nearly up towards to 235. And for right now, we'll definitely put this on our watch list to begin. Normally we don't trade such an expensive stock, but you could either trade the option on it or otherwise there's going to be other stocks for you to trade. But for NVIDIA to come off, their earnings coming out this morning and yesterday, and seeing the trend here today so far, we're easily going to put them on our list. See if we can have this hold support off at 230 after the market opens up. All right, so NVIDIA on our list already. Could the same be said on the other semiconductor stocks like AMD, Intel, blah, blah, blah? NVIDIA is going to be the leader of the pack. It normally is, but especially off their earnings report, they're up the most. So, if you want to trade AMD on the side, you can. It's not going to hurt you. MU's not up really much of anything, or INTC, I should say. MU's still not up as much. AMD up nearly 5%. But I'd rather be focused on NVIDIA out of those chip semiconductor-based stocks or otherwise just focus on something else, all right? And there's going to be other things to focus on going into the open. A couple of nice moves here. JNCE, we had this on our pre-market list going into 8 o'clock. And to be honest with you, going into 8 o'clock, it was kind of a dud. It really wasn't looking too good, going into the 8 o'clock move. But from that point, it took a while, but curdled back up, held off 110. It broke back above the VWAP off 115, and it's been trending up since. So nice safe stock, it seems like, more of a level one trade, not just the price, much cheaper than NVIDIA, but the spread, the liquidity. It's on a penny spread, really filled in order book. So I like this trade. I'm definitely going to put this on our list just to begin. Wanted to just show this, though, because I still saw it kind of inching up here. All right, so we'll go from top to bottom here. Otherwise, we have the OCEA, and that's at the top basically. We saw that from yesterday, so we'll recap that one briefly. VBLT here though on the top though, up 76%. It's a cheapy stock, so normally these stocks below $1, we're not going to really put any serious intent on following. Hey, there was a stock the other day, SRNE, Sorrento. Hell, they may their ticker may have gotten even delisted. I don't know that, but certainly 24 hours ago, I think they were certainly a stock. SRNA goes to show. But, VBLT here, either way, whatever news came out on this stock, VBLT, it made a nice pre-market move. I'm not too interested in this one, though, for the open or after. That's all. I got to figure out what happened to Sorrento. Chuck says they went bankrupt. Chuck, like 24 hours ago, they were at least listed. What the heck? That kind of blew my mind right there. I was expecting to see a chart. I'm going to look more into that after we finish up, but I appreciate the heads up. Sorrento went bankrupt. Doesn't surprise me. They dropped from like $6 down to like 35 cents, something like that. Nevertheless, though, OCEA ended up making a nice squeeze up here going into 9 o'clock and since, but more from yesterday. This thing was chaotic. Pop and drops, just big spreads at the time. Thankfully, now the order book is actually more liquid, more filled in here, it seems. So I'll put this on our list now, and perhaps a little bit more trust regaining on this trade here. If spreads can keep contained within a few cents, starting to open up a bit as it's starting to drag back down off the highs now. So that's where you got to be careful. Certainly after the market opens up, if you're looking to trade this stock, wait the first 3 to 5 minutes, right? Wait the first 3 to 5. Wait for that order book to fill in. Chris here says big news on OCEA today on cancer treatment. Let me take a look. Check out that at least for right now. Check out that other one, Sorrento, after. But yeah, from today. Wow. So what was yesterday? Like the calm before the storm? But like they were kind of buying it in advance, running it up beforehand before the news came out. Good call from Chris. Yeah, news came out this morning, not yesterday, but at 8 o'clock this morning or so. I'm not going to repeat this headline here. A lot of words I can't pronounce right now. Dry mouth, nevertheless. Ended up making a nice pop here. So we're going to put this on our watch list. I don't have this up on my book map so far. So once we finish up the meeting, we'll post the book map link and show it here in the room. All right, JNCE, that leads me back to, already talked about. It looks good for right now. Nice trend back up, back over the VWAP here. And we keep going. ENVX, it's starting to move back up a little bit here, but it was a little wacky, kind of like that OCEA. It looked like, more of an after hours move yesterday and now pre-market. If the spreads can, or rather, if the order book could fill in more altogether, then this could be a better trade. ENVX, let me take a look on the news just for this one as well. I'm not going to do this for everyone. But let's see. ENVX, it seems like just earnings. Mixed quarter four financial results. Piper Sandler raises their price target to 25. 25. What they have the price target to begin with. So on this trade, I mean, hey, I'll put this on our list more because it's starting to come back up right now. Similar to the JNCE and the OCEA perhaps. So we'll give it a little shine. Hopefully the order book just fills in more orders, larger orders at most of these price levels, and then I'll be a lot more intent on trading it. All right, so NVIDIA here again moving back on up right now before the market opening, and with that making a move up towards the 21,000 share order at 235. So I just wanted to show this once more. We talked about this to begin the meeting, right? And we keep it going. Oh, okay, that's right. So NVIDIA up off earnings. We're not going to follow the other chip stocks, but this ETF we are going to put on our watch list here. SOXL is the semiconductor chip ETF, for that sector, like AMD, NVIDIA, etc. But this is triple leveraged, meaning it's a lot more volatile compared to like the stocks, really. So, certainly NVIDIA is up more percentage-wise, but this is just as volatile, if not perhaps even more, for when the market opens up. So I'll put this on our list. It looks good, but hey, if you are not, or I should say, if you don't have Bookmap, and certainly if you're not as familiar trading an ETF to begin with, I wouldn't suggest for you to do this. I would rather you follow like JNCE or the ENVX, maybe if that order book can fill in more, or hell, do the NVIDIA calls or puts, depending on what you're looking to do with it. But either way, it's going to be hard to follow order flow on an ETF if you don't have Bookmap. If you got Bookmap, it makes it a little bit easier on the eyes, so you could work off of it. We talked about that in our on-site workshop yesterday in terms of using Bookmap to chart the SPY and following these big selling levels, right? So same to be said here. All right, what else we got here on the gainers side for right now? SOUN, I saw Chuck call that out basically when I started the meeting. Nice pop. Yeah, ended up just popping now from like 415, 410, now up to 430. AI up over 5%. That ended up making a nice like little pop into the close and then moving up higher now. And then the BBAIs, it's not really. All right, we'll go with those other two though, AI and SOUN. I like those two for right now, and we're familiar with them, so that's good, right? If you've done well on them in the past, they seem to be pretty active today. So even further reason to stay away from the ETF or stay away from the expensive NVIDIA or the others. Hey, if you did well on these, then I would look to follow it. I'll tell you what, I appreciate Mike and everyone else kind of commenting Chuck on the SOUN because hell, that's probably what I'm going to do now, right? I might throw in the JNCE as well, but AI and SOUN I've personally done pretty well on the last like couple weeks, right? SOUN even more than AI, but this could be a good trade here. The open the AI stocks. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Otherwise, GNPX here up a little bit, more up in early pre-market hours there, not doing a whole lot here. Boyle doing a whole lot right now though. So, I'd be pretty hesitant on putting a few different ETFs on our watch list together. Really it's kind of just showing off one and that's it. But between SOXL and the Boyle here, it's going to be hard to avoid both. So, hey, if you do well on the ETFs, you got a couple of options there. That's a good one. So Boyle, I always get these mixed up. So Boyle and UNG go together, and Cold goes opposite. So UNG is another natural gas ETF that you could follow, but in this case, you don't need to follow both. They literally move the exact same. So just follow one. I'm just going to pick Boyle. So good call. All right, so I think that's going to be it from the gainer side right now, folks. Let's hop over to the losers list, seeing if there's anything looking just as good, if not better. Get the price column expanded here. There we go. Oh, you know what? I was wondering about this, and I didn't even type it in my chart. I was, like, lazy. I'm like, I don't think so." But I think it's actually the case. Let me check. You got NVDS? Yeah, it's the, NVIDIA Bear ETF. Much like Tesla, NVIDIA has its own single stock ETF. So, SOXL is the, sector ETF. The bullish NVIDIA ETF, it's gotta be NVDL. Alright, so this is cheaper than the stock NVIDIA. They're all going to move together here, right? But this is pretty illiquid. There's really no volume on this. There's like no one really trading this right now. If there's no big money to follow on this, then I would not want you to be following this just yet, right? So I don't know why the other one's like showing so much more activity. This on the way down, like really good chart, trading way more volume. But yeah, I'm going to pass on these for right now. If the other one was trading a lot more volume like this, then all right, then I'd toss it on there. But all right, LCID coming off, I think, earnings from yesterday afternoon led to a big drop in the post market, drop before the 8 o'clock move this morning. So we were intending on it as a short, but really that from that point, from 8 o'clock, started to make a small dead cat bounce. Not really worth it as much, but starting to bounce a bit here. But yeah, for the open, still pretty tradable. I'll put this on our list either way. If you can get the shares to short this and it breaks lower, then you have a pretty good opportunity on your hands there, especially if it breaks below the VWAP and 863 support. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Unity, I think, right? Unity Software, U ended up having a drop as well in the post market yesterday. Not really showing like as much trend. It's trading good volume. Could be followed at some point after the open or mid morning. Yeah, I'm sure. But right now we don't have a short list. We have a kind of big list to begin with already. So, that's where we got to cherry pick. That's where we got to, kind of just look to, really see what's looking best out there right now. All right. So all I'm at it for all of us on YouTube, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of us on social media, as well as all of us inside the live trading room. Let me know if there's any other stocks that you'd want me to look at or anything else that I missed popping or dropping now. I'm going to finish up my scans as I go through, but I want to check back in on the chat here coming up. So, for all of us collectively, let me know if there's anything that I didn't see yet. Moderna down 4+%. That could be a short, a little expensive. I already got NVIDIA on our main list. eBay, all right, down a little bit more, a little bit cheaper. All right, all right. A little spotty here in pre-market though. Kind of like the Unity trade. I feel like that could be definitely on our side list. After the open, mid-morning, if there's nothing else moving, and that's looking, all right. I'll give it a look, but for right now, I'll pass on them. Just checking Benzinga Pro here first. I just got the ETFs there, SOXL, Boyle. Not a whole lot showing right now, folks. So, hey, we got a good list. We don't need to force anything else out there, but if we caught them all, we did our job. Yeah, Mike, we talked about you already, Unity. Again, much like eBay here that I'm showing now, I just said, maybe mid-morning and it'll be a better trade. But compared to everything else we have on our list at this point, let's focus on everything here so far. Lucid, AI, Boyle even, obviously NVIDIA, and the others, OCEA, etc. All right, I think we may have caught them all, folks. All right, so for right now, folks, just for all of us on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, you got me across the remainder of this week, and I think into Monday. Fausto's just taking a little time with family, just coming off our on-site class, and then I'll be back next week. So if you have any questions, feel more than free to shoot me a quick email. Josh@ctutrading.com is my email. I gotta get me a little bit more water here before the market opens up, but there we go. Josh@c2trading.com is my handle. But otherwise, if you're interested in joining our live trading room, continuing the audio commentary today, tomorrow, or next week, just go right down to the link on the green banner below the stream right there to get yourself set up, get yourself started. But for all of us live right there, I look forward to talking to you all coming up very shortly. Take care.